Hey guys, it's Keith, and I'm out today in my 2004 Ford F-150 Heritage model. About a year ago, I did a video on some tips and tricks that people could use when they're looking to buy an old truck like this. And a lot of people found it helpful. But there was also a lot of comments about just that I was crazy for buying an old truck, crazy for buying a Ford, for buying a V6, and especially a truck that had a lot of rust issues with it. Now, I thought about it a lot, and I've owned the truck for over 2 years now, and I've had a number of things go wrong with it. So I thought what would be helpful for this video is to go through a real-life dollars and cents example of what it's like to own an old pickup truck. Is it really worth it? Are you better off buying something old like this and just keep putting some money into it? Or are you better off buying something maybe 5 years old that costs a little bit more? So I'm going to go through that today in this video. So this is my truck, a 2004 Ford F-150 Heritage Edition. The Heritage Edition was a cheaper model of pickups back in 2004. It was essentially a carryover of the old design that ran from 1997 to 2003. I guess I only paid $3,750 for it, which was a great deal considering what other four-wheel drive trucks go for. But I've had a number of problems with it, and I want to show you now the things that I have replaced on it over the last couple years. The first thing was I had to have a shackle replaced in the back where the shackle had popped right through the bed of the truck because of the rust. Then I had to put new tires on it. Then I had to check engine light that I couldn't figure out. I replaced the map sensor. It went into the shop and had new plenum gaskets, O2 sensor, plugs and wires. That was an expensive service. And then after that I had, most recently, a ball joint had to be replaced, another O2 sensor, 2 front ABS sensors have been replaced. Last week I had the key for the door failed, the cylinder, lock cylinder, so that was replaced. Four-wheel drive stopped working. That just needed to be lubricated and cleared up. So this truck has been in the garage, in the shop, quite a number of times. And all total, I've spent about $4,000 between oil changes, tires. Actually, I had to have some rust repair done right behind the door. That was in really bad shape. Another thing that I've been doing with the truck is using fluid film twice a year, just undercoating the truck to keep the rust at bay. We have some really tough winters here, and the rust in this truck was, fairly significant underneath. The fluid film has done a great job. But all total, I've put $4,000 into the truck. Truck cost me $3,750, so now I'm into the truck for almost $8,000. Now, the problem is the Kelley Blue Book on this truck, for the model that it is, it's not as desirable, doesn't have many options. It's got 135,000 miles, which isn't too bad, but it's 14 years old. The Blue Book on this truck, if I was to try to sell it, may be around $4,000. So right there, I've lost $4,000 in the course of a couple of years on this truck. So as I look at what I've put into the truck over the last couple of years, it's averaging out to be about $150 a month just for maintenance and repair costs. That seems kind of steep. Let's take a look at what it would cost to own and maintain a newer truck. Now, I found this 5-year-old F-150 near me that's equipped pretty similarly to my truck. It's an XL model with a V6, 71,000 miles, 5 years old, listed for $18,000. Let's take a closer look at it. So in looking on cars.com for some compatible 5-year-old F-150s, most of them seem to run between $17,000 and $19,000. This one seems right in the middle at about $18,000. It's got 71,000 miles on it, and it's an XL model just like mine with a V6. And then when I look at what it would cost to finance something like this, they say at the top, and that seems reasonable, about $331 a month over 5 years. So again, to compare, I'm paying about $150 a month right now in just maintenance costs over the last couple of years. And this truck, which is much newer with about half the miles, would be about twice that, $331 a month. Now, obviously this truck's going to cost more out of the gate. If you bought it as a 5-year-old truck, it's about $18,000, maybe a little bit less. Your cost to pay that is going to be about $3,600 a year if you decide to finance it. Now keep in mind, my older truck is about $1,500 a year in maintenance costs. One of the benefits of obviously having a newer truck is it's not going to be in the shop as much as mine has been. You're not going to have that downtime. You probably won't have any downtime, so you're paying for that. But you have to keep in mind that this truck is also going to depreciate. In 5 years, when it's 10 years old, it's going to lose a significant part of its value. Now my estimate is that you might, let's say you bought it for $18,000 now, in 5 more years it's a 10-year-old truck. Maybe you're able to sell it for $8,000. Well, you've taken a $10,000 hit on your depreciation, just like I've taken one on mine. I'm going to be upside down as well. It's really a trade-off, right? Either you get an older truck and it's going to kind of nickel and dime you, but you don't have the initial cost that you have with a newer one. Or you get a newer truck, you spend more, it's more reliable, less time in the shop, and you still take a depreciation that way too. Both trucks are going to depreciate, and you're going to lose money on both of them. They're not appreciable assets, so to speak. I guess it just depends on what your priorities are. Now for me, I've got, my truck is a second vehicle, so I don't rely on it for day-to-day transportation. I primarily need it for the 4-wheel drive to be able to get around in the rural area that I live in, but your needs might be different. So I'm curious what you guys think. Should you buy a 5-year-old truck for a little bit more, or should you get something older that you can work on and fix and maybe put a little bit of money into it over time? I'm curious your thoughts. I've always enjoyed the conversations in these YouTube comment sections. Well, I wanted to say finally, thanks a lot for watching. I really appreciate your comments and your subscriptions and your likes. Keeps the channel going, and I really enjoyed the conversation. If you want to see other truck videos or videos like this, please drop me a note as well. Let me know. Thanks again. Bye.